showings. You think that's the norm, but it's not.
Local versus out of town. We've got some stories to tell you, and you'd be shocked at some of them. Like and subscribe. We're back here, Jennifer Gale Real Estate channel. We'll keep rolling. That was crazy.
That was weird.
Yeah, so we're in the middle of a blizzard.
We are.
Yep, we made it in though, just like I battled the man cold that one time, like for a long time.
And we will never hear the end of it?
No.
Okay.
We were battling a blizzard, like at least, like we got a foot of snow, like it was a lot of snow.
We got a good foot of snow, yes.
And you battled in a rental car because we might even touch on that story too, because it's kind of funny.
That is kind of funny.
But
yeah, it is, yeah.
We'll save that to the end.
Okay.
We'll save it to the end. Yeah, did I say like and subscribe? Like and subscribe. We need more subscribers. Let's go. This is good content. So today we are going to talk, and this was your idea.
It was my idea, yes.
And I would think you are an expert because you're you do a lot of buyers. You get a lot of listings, but you have a lot of buyers too.
I'm almost 50-50 now, the buyers, but it's just something I'm seeing this trend in the last year for sure, what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are going to talk about local agents and the benefits of using a local agent compared to an out-of-town one that maybe doesn't know what they're doing.
Yes.
Or, I mean, not know what they're doing, but doesn't know the area.
Hasn't researched the area.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna break it up into two segments, like a buyer, using a buyer local agent, and then like a listing with a local agent. So let's talk about buyers first. Obviously it's probably pretty straightforward. You'd think, you know, you want to buy a house and maybe you live in Toronto.
Yeah.
And you come to Woodstock and you're comfortable with your agent in Toronto and they agree to come here. List us some pitfalls on why that may not be the best case scenario.
They don't know the neighborhoods. So you can drive through a neighborhood and think it looks nice.
Yep.
I have a story from when I started renting in Kitchener and I was in a townhouse, one of my first townhomes. It was a rental. It was in the winter. I'm like, this is nice. Spring came and I was like, I'm not in a good area. This is not like, and I had it just wasn't a safe area. But in the wintertime, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like if you went out today, every neighborhood in Woodstock would look great.
Yes, they all kind of, look the same, right? The snow is pretty, everything looks nice.
All the trash is covered in snow.
Yeah, but the demographics of each neighborhood is very different and unique. And even though Woodstock is a smaller town, we do have very kind of defined areas.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. Rachel makes us do hooks at the beginning of all these things.
Yeah.
And it annoys us to no end because we have to turn into actors. But she did make a good point, and it was an idea of how to capture. But let's talk about wood foundations.
Yeah, well, that's
as a buyer agent coming from out of town. There's certain street names that we automatically, like our radar goes up as to some of those houses may have wood foundations, and we're not here to bash the wood foundations. I mean, those houses are still standing and people live in them and they love them, but they're just not worth as much money.
Right.
They
and
don't
that's
sell
the value.
for as much.
The value is the big piece, and just them having that information that I actually have a house with a wood foundation. Is that something I want? Yes or no? But before I even got into real estate, I had no clue. So I'm local to Woodstock for about 20 years.
Yep.
I didn't know there was an area with wood foundations. I would have never even thought about that. So I'm sure Toronto agents, and this is nothing against Toronto agents, but don't realize that there's neighborhoods, because it's just not something I think as real estate agents we're really looking for.
No, not like from the medieval times. It seems like almost.
Yeah, it just seems like I think in the medieval times they actually still used stone.
Well, and if I'm searching for houses for clients to buy, you and I both know there's like 3 models of those homes kind of in the west side of Woodstock.
Yeah.
And I know, looking at the model of the home, I already automatically know it's wood. I don't even have to see that it's wood. Yeah. I just know that look and that type of house is wood, and I'll pass.
Yes.
And I'll tell them, for the price, I think we can maybe find something a little different and a
Sure.
little better.
Yeah.
And they're usually very appreciative, right?
Well, because it plays into not only you buying it, but when you want to resell,
Yeah.
like it becomes a factor. So it's just something you need to have that knowledge, and you wouldn't necessarily know that or be looking for that if you were not local.
And streets, I look at streets. What's a through street? What's a like a feeder street? So
Yes.
what streets are going to be a little bit more busy than others?
Yeah,
Certain times of the day,
for sure.
you name it. And an out of town agent, again, they're not going to know that. And they're
No.
going to be like, oh, this looks great. And it could be a great house, but from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. and then 4 to 7,
Absolutely.
when kids are maybe playing, maybe doing whatever, it's
Yeah.
like a gong show.
Yeah.
Like in
To back out on that street, is that something, because if they're showing it midday where
2
there's no
o'clock.
traffic,
Yeah.
they're not going to get the true piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I look at it like you started a couple years ago, so kind of just post COVID.
Yes.
I look at it also from the COVID aspect, when obviously we had an influx of out of town agents coming in selling houses.
Yes.
And you and I, the team, everybody in the team, hopefully everybody at the brokerage, should be picky as a buyer's agent. We know certain streets, right? And these houses had bidding wars, and your client from Toronto's asking you like, what should we offer? You don't know. If you're an out of town agent, you're like, 600.
Yeah.
And we're looking at it going like, ew. Like if that,
Ouch.
if the market changes, and we've been on listing appointments where they bought in 2022 on said street, market corrects a little bit, that street is the first to correct.
Absolutely. And their perspective coming from Toronto, because Toronto prices have always been higher, right?
Yeah.
So when they hear 600, they still think that's a deal, because maybe in Toronto that is a deal, but in Woodstock it's not.
Yeah. And they paid 600, and maybe for a little while they're happy they got in.
Yes.
Because maybe they had lost out on a few houses, and finally got one.
Yeah.
And then something changes, job, something, life circumstance change, they got to sell it.
Yeah.
And we're going over there saying like, it's worth 450.
It hurts.
Sorry, and your mortgage is still at 580.
Yeah.
It stinks.
It
and
does.
It could have been prevented maybe with a local agent.
Yeah. And there's been a few of those examples, absolutely, in the last couple of years, where you're looking around 200,000 that they overpaid in this area.
Yeah. And you're just, it's hard. It's a hard conversation.
It's a very hard conversation. Yes.
And, like, I guess schools obviously matter.
Yeah. So working with a local agent, like, you may not have kids or even, know of kids that go to that school, but you're going to know someone in the community who has kids that went to that school or can vouch for it. And you can reach out to those people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got an example. I had an out of town buyer not that long ago sent me a house, and I looked at the street. I knew what was behind the house. They didn't. If they're just looking at Google Maps, it just looked like a complex.
Yep.
But I knew that complex was like, again, not to disparage, but it was like government assisted rental area.
Yeah.
And
so it's about knowing your neighborhood.
Be a bit noisy.
Yeah.
The things around it obviously don't have as much value as something further away. House was great. I just said, just so you know, behind you is this complex, and there's just a lot of renters, and it could be a little bit noisier and different people coming and going. And they're like, oh, thanks. Like, we don't want to live behind that.
People are spending a lot of money on their home, right? And you want to enjoy it. Yeah. You don't want to move into something and then find out later that you're having 24/7 parties behind you and garbage or whatever. Because Woodstock is a relatively clean and nice town, but there are some areas that you just are still nice, but you should be aware of them.
And I had, I didn't sell them the house. They came from, I think, Guelph, and they bought in Norwich. Mm-hmm. Norwich is great.
Yeah.
But Norwich on a Sunday is not like Woodstock on a Sunday, right? Like
Exactly.
it's a very different demographic in Norwich, and they weren't of that religion or
Yes.
belief
Yeah.
system, right? And they called me and said, "Oh my God, like we need to move. Like this is like we want to go to a store, or we want to get
Yeah.
something on a Sunday. We don't want to drive all the way to Woodstock." And like Norwich turns into a ghost town on
Norwich,
Sunday,
yeah.
and it's just like we're just not. I don't know how to say this, like not politically correct. They're just not of the same style of person, right? Like there's nothing wrong with either style. It's just different values and different
the
way of
values
life.
there are different,
Yeah,
for sure. And they're they're a tight community of their similar values,
Yep.
right? So that's but you wouldn't know that.
No, and
you drive through it's a charming town,
beautiful houses,
but it's something you should know about.
Yeah, and if you don't, if you're that out of town agent, like, oh, it's a great house, you'll love it here.
Yeah,
small, quaint little town, and it is.
It is,
but it's just different.
Yes,
it's different than other small, quaint little towns. And if you're not into it, you're like, ugh.
Yeah, it's not your vibe.
Yeah.
But you should inform. So there are so many reasons to use, I think, like a local real estate agent. And I think people can spread because we are, there are areas that you can spread out to. There's people that have lived in different communities before coming to Woodstock. And so I think that is really important to know as well too, but it's about knowing your agent, and is your agent doing this research for you and finding out these things and asking these questions if they are from out of town.
And the more you do it, and I'm saying, like you said, people can spread, and like you do a lot of buyers. And if you've done like a bunch of buyers in Kitchener-Waterloo, the more you start knowing about that, and you kind of become local-ish.
Yes.
Like more than just like a one-off, like you're, I've heard agents driving to places. I'm like, oh, man.
Yeah.
like,
yeah. There's definitely, I know, because I've done my driving. You know that about me. I've done my driving, but I do my research. But I know for sure, like I would never feel confident or comfortable saying to a buyer, I can help you buy a house in Toronto.
Yeah.
Would I love, $2
million.
Absolutely. Yeah. But do I have any business there? No. But we have referral source. So we have great agents all over the place. And that's when we're like, hey, I know someone who can help you that's more suited to help you.
Yeah. Like this is, all the little Toronto lingo, the beaches, the whatever. I don't know any of it, and I don't know where the borders are. So like, I feel like you could go one block over and like the price difference is like $500,000. Like,
exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah. And I have no business educating a client on that in Toronto.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. They have their own land transfer tax.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, I'm sure you could probably Google them what it is, but if somebody's like asking me about all the expenses in Toronto, I'm like, I don't know what they do with their garbage. I don't know if their garbage costs money. I don't know if they have a green bin, like, and all that, those little things like water billing and how are the sewer bills and just all that that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So buying, pretty self-explanatory.
Well, yeah. And even a couple examples though too, like I've had out of town agents, lovely people, but they had buyers buy here. And it seemed to be a pattern in 2025 for some reason. They weren't booking the final walkthroughs. A final walkthrough is so important. And I don't know why they weren't booking the final walkthroughs. I can,
guess
that they didn't want to make the trip. But that's such a disservice to your client.
Yeah.
Such a disservice. Or you pay someone local, like just, you got to get your clients to that house and do that final walkthrough.
Yeah. Or send them to an open house.
Yes.
Like, oh, it's Sunday. I read on Realtor they're having an open house 2 to 4.
Yeah. You go see it and let me know if you like it.
Yeah. If you do, we'll put in an offer.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's.
Yeah.
Okay. So selling, listing with a local agent, a little bit different. A lot of agents, I feel like, probably think, I just put a sign in the ground. People call me, we can sell it, and we'll maybe guess on the price or hope for a price. And what are some of the benefits to listing with a local agent?
Well, first of all, your realtor's there. Like their faces in the community. You will pass by them, in the grocery store. So they're going to be doing what they're supposed to be doing and doing a good job for you. Because otherwise they're going to feel shame and not want to walk through their own community. So
Feel shame.
You know, in the grocery store and like ducking.
Yeah.
I didn't see you. So with your local realtor though, listing your home, they're in the work. They're buying, they're selling, they're seeing what's happening, they're studying the market. They know the pricing and what strategies work. We spoke earlier about, oh shoot.
What was our topic?
Holding
last time?
offers.
Yes.
Sorry, we spoke earlier about holding offers, and sometimes it's a good idea here. It's got to be the right house. It's got to be the right price point.
Yeah.
But if you see an $800,000 home holding offers, that's not happening here.
Yeah.
And so as soon as I see that, I'm looking at a town agent.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and they're just computing what they do and thinking that just travels, and it just doesn't. Like Jay says, like either this past week or the month before with our stats one, he's always got those stats where it's like 2% actually get an offer with the holding offers theory.
Yeah, it works in other communities. It works in other cities and not too far from here. So Brantford, they do it all the time. Kitchener, it's happening. So I understand why people think, you know, we're only 40 kilometers west, that it would work, but it's not. It doesn't work here. And so if you have someone listing your home with an incorrect listing strategy and pricing strategy,
and so I've always got a couple. It's like tractors and loud noises out there. It's crazy. I always use a couple of examples with pricing houses and how an out-of-town agent would be so, I'm not going to say out to lunch, but like they got an uphill battle with some of our streets. And I always use Victoria Street as an example.
Okay.
Because there's Victoria Street from Devonshire to Brant.
Yes.
And that's one section, and you could probably price a house within that section just using that section.
Yes.
But in between Brant and Grant, I feel like the value goes up.
Okay. Yeah.
$50,000 for the same house in that section.
Yeah.
But then there's Victoria from like kind of Ingersoll Ave, or I guess it's maybe Edward to Dundas. And now you're talking older houses and smaller lots and maybe some shared driveways. But then there's Victoria South, that's south of the tracks.
Yeah.
And that's like south of the tracks, right? So it's you get 4 subsections of Victoria Street that are totally different values. And somebody get on the computer, an out-of-town agent, and they have access to all our data.
Yes.
And they'll be like, oh, you know, Victoria Street. Look, I've got 5 comparables.
Yes. Yeah.
And
but they're not comparable.
They're not even close. Yeah. Like it's not even in the same neighborhood. Might as well be a different part of the city.
Yes.
And, you know, if you're on Wellington, but you're like north or south of Devonshire.
True.
Or Huron. Yeah. North or south of Devonshire. That's like a big difference, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a whole different neighborhood north of Devonshire than it is south.
Yeah.
Busyness, like the busyness of the street matters. So if you have an agent that's out of town and they're not that confident, and that seller's like, hey, you know, like I think my house is worth this, and you're pulling up these comps and they work.
And then you agree with the seller because you don't know any better. Yeah. And then it's just kind of misleading information and false hope that you're going to get that number for that.
And then you're on the market for 6 or 8 months and you end up hating each other.
You're not looking at each other.
Yeah,
but they're from out of town, so it
feeling,
doesn't matter.
you're feeling shame in the Sobeys in Guelph. So, and as far as actually like the mechanics of once it's listed, you know, you get that call on a Sunday afternoon that somebody wants to go see your listing. What are you doing if you're from Markham?
It's true. I know. And I even had one of my listings, they were at a cottage all summer while their house was on the market. And it was like last minute showings and stuff like that. And I would get like, I haven't cleaned. It's like, okay, it's okay. You know what? I'm going to go into your home. I'm just going to make sure there's nothing that's going to, you know, make you embarrassed. I'm going to like tidy up a bit and then it can be shown just so we don't avoid that.
Shovel today. Like just a path to the door. Like if it's a vacant house and you're a local agent and you're kind of the one looking after it.
Yeah.
Just
Oh, that's-
little things.
those little things. I know I even showed a rental there last week in Ingersoll, and it had never been, I don't think it's been shoveled all year. And it's an out of town agent. And my feedback was, it's like, it's dangerous for people to come onto this property when you're not maintaining it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, well, it is. And
yeah,
so, yeah, like sometimes we're acting in both, right? So if we get a call about our listing locally and somebody's maybe emailing us on realtor.ca and they're saying, hey, what's your garbage collection days there? And is there bag tags? And what's the closest high school?
yeah.
Boom, boom, boom,
Right.
boom. Whereas if you're from out of town, there's a good chance you're not going to know any of those things.
Exactly. And you can speak to the neighborhood, what they're, absolutely.
Yeah. Like who's your internet providers here?
Yeah.
Who do you get? Right?
Yes.
Like who is it? Hydro One? Like, is it just, there's so many endless amounts of things that will help people in their decision to make the best one using a local agent.
Yes.
So you had a mishap.
I did. I did.
It's a good story.
Yeah.
Talk to us.
Yeah. Well, I guess, so I was at a listing appointment with Nate, and we were just getting started, and all of a sudden we were in the kitchen and we said, like, this kitchen has really nice views. And then I saw this like blur of something, and then the homeowner's like, I think that snowplow just hit your car. And I was like, oh. So anyways, I had my car parked in the driveway. It was in a very good spot. But this Salter truck decided to go through and hit my vehicle. And he was definitely impaired. He was high as a kite, and he got arrested on scene, and he totaled my car.
She had pictures. She was in the group chat. She had pictures of the guy in cuffs, like not his face or anything, but like walking away with a cop. And it was, I just had visions of Nate like chasing him down, because you said he tried to flee.
Well,
describe the interaction between you. Like, okay, so you see this thing and it, like, you saw it hit your vehicle, or you just saw it in the aftermath of it being hit?
I saw it in the aftermath of it being hit.
Okay, so you went outside.
Yes.
We're going play by play here.
Sure.
You went outside and the dude was still in the truck?
Yes.
And you're thinking, Nate, go over and talk to him? Or you're like,
well, no, I'm thinking
Jen Smith. Like,
no, it's Jen Smith. I wasn't even like scolding at that point. I was just like, are you okay? And at that point, he was still revving.
You're so nice. My first reaction would have been, you mother.
But also remember, I was at a listing appointment. I had to maintain.
You had cool, calm, collected, like Jennifer Gale Team stuff.
I had to maintain that. But internally, that's what I wanted to do. So I just wanted to make sure he was okay, but he was still revving his car. And then he starts like raising his hands to my vehicle. Like he T-boned me.
Like, it's your fault?
Yeah. And like there's someone in there. And then he's honking at me to move. And so at that point,
Time out.
Yeah.
He thought he was still driving and waiting. Like he came up to you and he was like, get out of the way.
Yeah. He was like, beep, beep.
Wow, that's high. That's really high.
It was really high. And that's when I said, oh, buddy's messed up. Like, I need to like back up here and we need to call the police.
So you hadn't talked to him at this point. This was just through the window.
He wasn't even aware I was there saying.
Was Nate under the car scared?
No, Nate was good.
Okay.
Nate was good.
Sorry, Nate. You are a boxer though, couch sessions. Okay, so then what? Like he thought he was in another dimension, still driving, still like he's hand gesturing, like get the hell out of my way.
Yeah, honking. So then he's trying to like reverse, go forward. But at this point,
is he like mashing into your car repeatedly?
Sometimes when he understood what he was doing, but then other times he wasn't in gear, so he just was revving. This
is a better story than I actually thought it was.
Amazing, Drew.
I didn't know he thought that he was like still driving.
Yeah, but he was not in a good place.
Okay, so when was who called the police?
Homeowner called the police.
Police. Then what?
And then actually fire department arrived very quickly.
Like how
we
quick?
said like probably within like 2 or 3 minutes. It was
Really?
super quick.
Oh my God.
Because we said to the
Okay.
police, we're like, if he gets out, like he's so high, he's gonna hurt someone, right? So we wanted him
But Nate's a
locked in.
boxer.
Nate's a boxer, sorry.
Like, I mean, yeah.
He could have.
He could have,
That
well,
could have made it
especially was
more
high.
interesting.
Better than the
Yeah.
76-year-old farmer from Kintor.
I know. There's impaired, and then there was what he was. Like he was just like unpredictable, right? So, and then police came, they arrested
Like,
him.
what do you think he was impaired on?
Oh, he had his crack pipe
Oh.
right on the seat.
Okay, so not just like,
No, he was.
he wasn't
like,
just like,
no, he was
smoking a doob in there. It was like
No.
really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So they towed his vehicle, they took him away, found out he had 2 priors.
Mm.
So he spent some time in jail, and I hope he doesn't get behind a wheel anytime soon.
Yeah.
Ever.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know. That's funny. Probably shouldn't be funny, but it kind of is funny that he still thought he was driving. And
there was some humor to it.
he was
for
like
sure. Yeah.
waving, like, get out of my way,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
whatever. Can
Yeah.
you beat that? I know. She said I'm allowed to swear. So,
Okay, good. Because, okay.
Holy that was bad.
It was.
We're testing her beeping skills.
Rachel's like, oh God.
No, I forget where I was, maybe up north or something, but you had like kind of sent these, because in between Christmas and New Year's. And
what did we do? We went right back in once everything was taken care of.
Went over comps and just was like.
We were professionals about it. But yeah, I totaled my car. 2020 Highlander totaled.
No, we won't discuss what you're getting, but I think you're coming out okay.
I'm coming out okay.
Yeah.
Upgrade. And I'm just thankful it was my car and not someone. Everyone was out shoveling that day. You
were able to quickly get home. If you're an out-of-town agent, you would have had a real tough time in your hands. So let that be a lesson to you. Until next time.